welcome. Today we're going to do project number 2 in the Butterfly Brilliance kit, and you can always check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com to see what current kit I'm offering as my customer reward. Okay, so let's just dive right in. So you know that we are using the Butterfly Brilliance bundle for this class, and also for the sentiments. Since this doesn't have sentiments, I'm using the Beautiful Moments stamps that has a lot of sentiments. That's very versatile, so I think this is a really good investment here. But today we I don't think we'll be using so if you have used these are the butterflies that we're going to use, and if you did project 1, you've already cut your butterflies out. If not, you need to cut those butterflies out of that page of DSP that has all the butterflies on it. And you'll use this die here to cut out all your butterflies on that page. And we've already used one of these, I think, a couple of these in the first project, which I've already posted that video for you. And today we're going to use these 3. We're going to use 2 in the front and then the green one here. And now this is a flip fold card. Don't be too concerned. We did one of these not too long ago. Checking my measurements here. With the paper pumpkin. And so now we're going to do another one for this card. And remember, the more you do it, the better you get. So practice makes perfect. So if you're concerned, just keep practicing. It's really not as difficult as you might think. So from your kit, okay, so it looks like we are going to need a thick Whisper White card base. And remember, I keep your thick Whisper White in this bag to keep it separate. So thick Whisper White card base, 8.5 by 5.5. There is some in here, some of the a piece of 4.25 by 5.5. That is oh wait, that's not for this one. That's for a different one. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so 8.5 by 5.5 thick thick basic white. Bermuda Bay, you're going to need 3.25 by 3.25. Could probably get that out of there. So there's my Bermuda Bay. These are leftovers from project 1. Melon Mambo. Let's see. Here's my Melon Mambo. And that's it for DSP. Yeah, we don't even need any white for the inside because we use a label. So great, that's our DSP, I mean our cardstock. For DSP, we're going to need this piece that's left over from project 1. And I pre-cut these in your kit, so you don't have to worry about confusing them. So, and then for our butterflies, we need this beautiful piece right there, the ombre butterflies. So that's our DSP. We will need some labels and ribbon, but we'll get to those in a little bit. So as you know, this is going to be folded a little different than normally, so we'll get to that. Thick basic white is cut for us. Bermuda Bay. Let me get my trimmer out. So we need 3.25 by 3.25. So I think we can get that out of here. And like I said, this is left over from project 1. 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then the other one we need is 3 1/4 by 2 1/2. So I'm going to do 2 1/2 this way. So that was a 1/4 sheet. I did 2 1/2, and then I'm going to do 3 1/2. 3 1/4. Did I do 2 1/2 or 2 1/4? It's supposed to be 2 1/4. Sorry about that. 2 1/4 and 3 1/4. 2 1/4 and 3 1/4. And this is all stuff that we can put with our stash. So that's our Bermuda Bay, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. And we're basically going to do the same thing with our Melon Mambo. So we're going to do 3 1/4. This is just a 1/4 sheet here that I put in your kit. 3 1/4. And let's see, 2 1/4. And this is what's left over. So 3 1/4, 2 1/4. And now we're going to make this 3 1/4. And this 3 1/4. So same measurements as the Bermuda Bay. 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. Okay, moving right along, we have our DSP. The butterfly DSP is going to be, one is going to be 2. So cut it so your butterflies are flying up. So we need a 2-inch, and that will leave us with the 4-inch, which is the other side. And then we need to cut this to 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. Okay, so when it's all over and said and done, we have 2 by 5 1/4 and 4 by 5 1/4. And then this piece here, the reverse of project 1. This was project 1. This is the reverse side we're going to be using today. This needs to be 2, which it should be. It is. And then 5 1/4. So again, 2 by 5 1/4. All right. That's our DSP and cardstock that we need to cut. Now, let's go ahead and score our cardstock for our card base. Make sure I get my cutting blade out of the way because I don't want to use it by mistake. So I'm going to score at 4 1/4 first. That's basically in half. Okay, and then I want to score, let's see, if I'm going to fold that way, this, I think I want to flip it and score it at 2 1/8. 2 1/8. So basically I scored it at 4 1/4 here, turned it over and scored it at 2 1/8 on this side here. And the only reason I did that is so that when I do my folds, they're folding in the correct way. So there's my folds. That shouldn't be too hard for you. Okay, so we are coming up on the little more difficult part. Okay, so I'm using my bone folder to kind of crease those folds. Now before I do any cutting to make my flap, I want to put my DSP on. So I'm going to put this away for now. My bigger piece of DSP is going to go here, my smaller piece is going to go on the front, and then this piece is going to go on the inside. Now normally you would center this with equal distance all around, but you're not going to do that. Today you're going to put it right up against that fold so that you have about 1/8 of an inch on these 3 sides, and then this is right up against the fold. So let me get my multi-purpose glue out and do some dots in the corner. That's how I do it first. I put some little dots in the corner and then along the edge, but not too close to the edge because I don't want it oozing out. So I'll show you what it looks like. Remember, it's going to go up against the fold, but not on the fold, but just up against it with about 1/8 of an inch all around. Similar, hopefully, close to it. And then this one is going to go, same thing, close to the fold with about 1/8 of an inch all around. You just want to make sure these two are meeting so that they don't look lopsided. So there we go. And again, I'm going to put some, sometimes I don't get too picky about it, as you can see. Okay, so this one is going to go up against the fold, and then make sure it's level with the one next to it so it doesn't look lopsided when you open up the card. And then this one is going to go here. This one you could use snail for, or I keep saying snail. You could use seal for. Just put a couple strips of seal here, or you can use your glue. This one's going to have 1/8 of an inch all around. Just make sure that it too is level with the DSP next to it. Okay, not too hard so far, right? Looking good. Now we get to the scary part. I admit it's a little scary, but don't let it be too scary. Now if you did for project 1 first, you have already put a 1/4 inch strip of white paper or cardstock behind your numbers, and just a 1/4 inch, and then you put a glue dot there and a glue dot there, and you put it behind your measuring on your there, and that helps you see those numbers so much better. All right, now this is not hard. Don't worry, it's not as hard as you think. We want to have a 1/2 an inch here, and then these are 1 1/8 inches. So we're going to put it with our butterflies here and use our our 1 1/8 here. Okay, there's 1 1/8 there, and then we're going to start at 1/2 an inch, and you'll have, there's a little notch there on your cutter. Match it up with the 1/2 inch, and when it's matched up, you're going to put it down and you're going to move it over to 2. Whoops. Hopefully it's going to stay in place. Hold on, it moved on me. Okay, you're going to have to hold it down, so it's at 1/2 an inch. Hold it down, and you're going to move it over, holding it down tight, to 2 1/8, which is right here where you have your fold. So start at 1/2 an inch and go to 2 1/8. Now you're going to flip it over, do the same thing. 1 1/8 inch over here, 1/2 an inch here, put it down, hold it tight, and then move it over to 2 1/8 or to the crease. And so that part's done. Now we're going to do the 1/2 inch here. So we're going to turn it here to 1/2 inch. And this time it's going to be at 1 1/8. And we're going to put it down and we're going to cut it over to 4, 5 1/2, 4 1/2, 4 3/8. So we'll start at 1 1/8. I don't know if I'm right at 1 1/8. 1 1/8 over to 4 3/8. And you should have a perfect, it's really just math. That's really, like I said, practice on some other paper before you use, practice on some cardstock before you use your paper till you feel comfortable, and just follow those steps and take your time, and it should work for you. Okay, so now we have our card base. We just have to decorate it. Not bad, hopefully. Like I said, practice makes perfect. So if we look at our card, we have our 3 3/4 Bermuda Bay is going to go here. And I'm going to make sure that that is going to go through there. I might want to find the piece that goes through back and forth easier. Okay, I think that's the side. So and I'm going to put that on with, I'm going to put some glue on there because it would be too hard to do with the Stampin' Seal. You need something that can help you to move it around. So I'm going to put that right in there. Oops, I think this was the way that I decided was better. Right in there. Make sure it covers up everything I want it to cover up. And make sure it's in that corner. There. And it goes up and down. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to put our 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 melon mambo on the other side, and we'll make sure that it meets up perfectly. Okay, so glue, 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 swiggle. We're going to meet it up, not to the paper, but to the Bermuda Bay, because I want it to cover up the Bermuda Bay. And then I also want to make sure that it doesn't show on this side either. Okay, so it's a little bit, but that's okay. I can come by and trim that later. I hope I can. Maybe I should have tried it before, because if I trim it now, I should have matched them up before I did that, you know. I didn't do that. Okay. All right. It's just gonna have to work. It's just gonna have to work. Let me get my scissors here and trim. Now the tricky part is going to be trimming this side, and I don't know that I can. So when you do it, be sure you match them up perfectly and make sure they're the same size, because even though I cut them at the same size, I don't know that they are. Okay, not too shabby, not too shabby. So now they look fine, and that I want to make sure that's down nice and tight. Okay, so in the front, this is going to go here, in the middle. This is just like putting together a puzzle from this point. We do have some stamping though to do along the way, so don't get too comfortable. Okay, I'm going to center that in the center. Okay, now I'll do the same on the other side. In the center. Okay. My fingers are getting sticky, so I'm going to get a baby wipe. Wipe them off. Alright, so that's that. We do need to stamp the happy birthday and the very wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. But on this side, so from your kit, from your little goodie bag, you're going to need your Night of Navy. This is the second largest label from the Hippo and Friends dies. And then you'll need one of these. I give you two. And then you're going to need one of these, and I give you two. Anything you stamp on, I give you two. Just because I want to be nice, just in case something goes wrong. So this is going to go here. So I'll put some glue on that. It's not being stamped on, so I can go ahead and put it in place. I'm kind of putting that right there. Hopefully that looks good. I really like the flip cards. I hope that you guys make yours, because they once you get the hang of it, they're really fun to make. Okay, so and then on this one we're going to stamp on these, so we'll set this aside for now and do our stamping. And I always like to use my Stamparatus because it's easier for me. And we're going to do happy birthday. Love this mixed font in this, so you know, like I said, I don't mind asking you guys to get this. Where's the happy birthday? Because I really think it's a good investment. Wishing you every happiness this special day will bring. That's a nice sentiment too. So on the, we'll get our 4x6 window sheet, which is my way of replacing the Stamp-A-Ma-Jig that we used to have that we don't sell anymore. I really miss that. But this is just as good. In fact, I think I like it better because it gives me more wiggle room. Okay, I've got something on my stamp that I know will interfere. Let me wipe it off. I don't know if it's glue or something, but I know it will interfere with the stamping. Yeah, you always want to check your stamps and make sure that they're clean, because if there's anything on there, fuzz or hair or anything, if you have pets especially, you might want to check them out. Okay, so we're going to be using our gorgeous Night of Navy ink. Love, love Night of Navy. And find a good place to put that. So I just need to take this and slide it under, line it up. I want to make sure I leave room for my sentiment. Now these two little things here, that's like the top for me. I'm using that as my top when I'm lining this up, and that way hopefully it will look halfway decent. Okay, I like that. I think I've left myself enough room to sign my name or make a little comment. So there we go. For that one, a little bit more. Okay, so we have that. And I'll clean that stamp off. And I'm using my Honest wipes that I love. So works really good. And then clean my plastic off so I can use it again. And this time, dry my hands off. Don't want to touch it till my hands are dry. Now we're going to dry this off too. I'll put the wet side on the bottom. Now we're going to do the happy birthday. This is going to go, that's going to go at the bottom, so I'm going to have to use my little strip of paper with some sticky on it to slide that underneath. And it's going to go there. Make sure I leave plenty of room for my butterflies. Ink that up. One more time just to make sure. Okay, that's nice, because the one thing about colored cardstock that I've found, it likes to act like a sponge and kind of soak in your ink, so sometimes you have to use a little bit more ink, and that's why the Stamparatus is so great for that. If it starts sucking up your ink like a sponge, you can add more ink. Okay, that's it for stamping. I have blue fingers now. Blue ink everywhere. Make sure I don't get it on anything I don't want it on. All right, we're done with the stamping. Goodbye, ink. Now we can finish our card. So this is going to go on the front. So I'm going to use some more glue for it because glue is my best friend lately. Happy birthday. It's just going to be centered. I hadn't used much of the Hippo Happiness Bundle or the this is a Hippo and Friends die. But those labels in there are really versatile. There's 3 different sizes of labels in there that you can use for your cards. So it's actually a good investment. I'm going to do this with glue too. But they're cute images as well. I think they're darling images, especially the unicorn. Now this is gonna, this is tricky, okay? We're not just gonna plop that on there. We have to get it straight, and we have to make sure that it's gonna be hidden behind here, and it's a really tight fit. You don't want it to go over here or there, or when you have it out here, it's going to be poking out at you. which isn't a terrible thing, but it kind of takes away. So I'm gonna use this to line it up, make sure that it's even, so that when it's gonna be level. And then I'm just gonna close this like that. And then I have it here. And I have a few minutes to straighten it out if it's just a little off. Just a few minutes, just a second. Maybe don't even have that now. I think I missed the boat, but it looks fine. It looks fine. Okay, so you can see how it hides it because we did it the way we did. So that hides it. Now if you find this is kind of wobbly, you can always cut a piece of cardstock to go behind it and give it a little strength. I think this is fine, but if you feel better, you can always put a strip of cardstock there behind that. Lastly, we've got our butterflies. These two butterflies. This is going to go here, there, and then this one is going to be popped up with some dimensionals, and it's going to go down here. So let's go ahead and put this one on with some glue. And I'm just going to put a little bit here in the center. So I don't want it to be stuck down too tight. And I'm looking at the other one, trying to get an idea where I want this. Yeah, that looks good. Looks about where I had it before. Good. And then this one is going to be popped up with some dimensionals, the mini dimensionals. So let me grab those. And I'm not going to be stingy with them. I want it to be there really well. And I'm going to use this because these little dimensionals drive me crazy. Literally. All right, now let me look. Let's see. I don't want to cover up my happy birthday. And I want it to have a nice, you know, everything looks good together. I think that's great. All right, we did our card, ladies. Are you excited to try it? Like I said, before you start with your DSP and everything, take a couple of tries, practice with some just some white cardstock that you have on hand until you feel comfortable, and then you can do your flip out or flip card or swing card or whatever it's called. And it's a beautiful card. So I hope you enjoy making yours. All right, that was project number 2 in my Butterfly Brilliance kit. And again, check out my website, www.carolbcrafts.com, if you want to see what current class kit I'm offering. Thanks for watching. Bye.